Welcome back to It's a Tool Thing. Today with a little bit of reviewing of this new Gearwrench zero offset ratcheting wrench. I got the opportunity to use it today and yesterday. Give you kind of my thoughts on it. But before I get into that, I'd like to thank Scanner Danner for the kind words. He put up a video here the other day recommending my channel. I was able to help him out on a Allison issue. He had a failed TCM in his personal motorhome, and I was able to check his old calibration, his new calibration for him. Not a big deal for me. That's kind of what I do all day, but I just happened to see his video and reached out to him. Wanted to make sure that he had the right calibration, I think, because the wrong calibration could cause an issue. Fortunately, he picked a good TCM for swapping in. Calibration was very similar, so he shouldn't have had any problems. But I appreciate the kind words. On to the Gearwrench here. So I got the opportunity to use this thing. First thing I noticed was the additional length over using this ratchet wrench to wheel the bolts in. The head size is the same on the ratchet, but I have an additional 6-8 inches there of length, which is nice to get it down below the frame mount. I would like to have seen, I think it's Mountain brand that makes the zero offset ratcheting. Obviously, if they could make the ratchet smaller, that would be great, but it wasn't an issue. It was able to get in there. But since it wasn't zero offset on this side here on the ratchet, you ran into a problem, of course, when you start getting them all the way in, and they're 6 bolts, 2 rows of 3. As you work your way down and have to bring the bolts in, the upper ones you can't get the ratchet wrench on there because it ends up hitting the bolt below it and knocks you off of the hex on the bolt. But I was able to try this end also for the final tightening and running the other ones down the last little bit. Fit in there very well. Nice lower profile here. Was able to, fit a bolt above it and a bolt below it. Get to all the bolts. And I had probably about a 1/16 of a clearance between the head of the bolt and this, so plenty of maneuverability to be able to maneuver it. And I gave it a good push on these. I was a little concerned because the beam's a little bit thinner than the Cornwall ones that I have, the zero offset one. It's a 13/16 actually, but it fit snugly, not too tight. Sometimes the 13/16 will be too tight on 21s. And I was very happy with this beam on this thing. I was able to crank down the bolts, and then I was able to get the torque wrench in there by pulling the engine and transmission to the side, to the opposite side. It was fairly tight, but I was able to get it in there. And this is what I usually use, which is my snap-on beam style torque wrench with a shallow, in this case 21 millimeter, made by or sold by Matco. It's an AVD socket. The torque spec on those bolts is 168 to 196, and I went ahead and set it to 170. And I was actually in most of them, the ones that I'd cranked down on with the Gearwrench, I was able to just get a click right away. So I had achieved that 170 mark. I didn't turn at all. And this beam, like I said, when I was pushing on it pretty good, I didn't feel a whole bunch of flex or anything, and I didn't have any issues holding on to the flex head in my hand, getting a nice grip over that. No issues there. Didn't feel anything there. Didn't feel anything in the beam really flexing. I'm sure it did slightly, but you get some things like this ratchet. I like to use this ratchet a lot if I can get it in there. In this case, I probably could have, but when you try to crank down on these, because I actually use this one on the other side to give it the final pull before I got the torque wrench in there, and this thing flexes pretty good. I was able to get to that same point at 170 mark without issue with this. But you do feel a lot of flex in comparison. This one I didn't notice that flex, so I thought that was nice. The fitment on the 21 millimeter was good, not too tight, definitely not too loose, so I was happy about that. Like I said, the only upgrade I would recommend that maybe Gearwrench consider would be to make this a zero offset in the same size. Possibly locking would be pretty nice also, though this one's still nice and tight, so locking is not really an issue. But I know how these flex heads can get. They can kind of start to get worn over time. These might be tightenable, if that's a word, because this is actually a bolt through here. It's not just a pin in the future if necessary. So that's just a quick review of this Gearwrench, in particular 21. I bought the 24 also, but I haven't put that one into service yet. Wanted to give you my thoughts and opinions on it. Once again, I appreciate Scanner Danner giving me a shout out, and I'm very happy that he was able to get me some more subscribers. I've been really wanting to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark. I really like the idea of that community tab, so I'm looking forward to that. And that's the main reason I wanted to get to 1,000 subscribers. So I want to be able to use that community tab, in particular for the shorter videos that I do, like what I've seen when I'm out looking for tools, which is pretty much what I do, use tools. That's why I've been making those short videos, because I wasn't able to use those community tabs to be able to take a photo, put a little story in there, and tell people about what I've seen. Because there's a lot of items that I see, either I think the price is ridiculous or a good price even, but I either have multiples of them or not interested in the item. And I wanted to share, kind of what I see when I'm out there looking for used tools. In some cases, it might even be possible that somebody watching it, if the item's still available, could contact that place and make a purchase if they're willing to mail it to them, depending on where they're at. So thank you very much. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Please check out some of my old content. This isn't a channel that puts a whole bunch of money into the aesthetics, I guess, but I try my best. I am working on trying to do a little bit better, but I don't want to be one of those guys that buying fancy cameras and all that stuff. I just want to use my phone and get some information out and basically have a good time. Thank you for watching. Please comment down below, like and subscribe, and as always, have a great day.